Okay, so originally these were supposed to be multiple different videos, but I decided to save both me and you some time by combining them into one and talking about the state of OS mapping in 2025 in general. Although before we start, I do want to say that I'm in no way a mapper, so you should probably take my opinion with a grain of salt. Okay, now what am I even talking about? Well, you probably noticed a lot of dogshit maps popping up recently. I'm talking about shit like chicken funny, the penis, wafer maps, well, you know, that sort of stuff. What we are experiencing right now is sort of a mapping pendulum effect. This occurs in OS on a semi-regular basis. If we look all the way back to when the game first launched, the criteria for the ranked section was very strict. Pepe would go as far as to say that a map is unrankable even if a single circle was under a slider. But as the time went on, more and more unique and non-traditional maps were making their way into the ranked section. All the way until 2019 or so, when Sotarx started ranking 1-2 jump slope. This new mapping style was really controversial and led to a complete re-evaluation of the ranking criteria, after which it became strict once again and led to the majority of the maps at the time being very generic. Mappers were not encouraged to try out new things because, well, those maps would never get ranked anyway, so what is really the point? This created sort of a period of drought in the mapping scene as old maps got boring and new maps didn't really bring anything new to the table. And after a while, the BNs became more lenient once again and the mapping pendulum swung once again in the other direction. Now, is this a bad thing? I wouldn't say so. It is frustrating to see absolute abominations like this ranked, however, it is absolutely necessary to keep mapping alive, since as I said before, mappers should be encouraged to try out new things, so we can have a more interesting selection of maps to play. While I myself also agree that some maps should never have been ranked, simply ignoring them and forgetting they exist is a sacrifice I am willing to make in order to see more cool shit get ranked. Okay, enough about ranking new maps. How about we talk about ranking old maps? Recently, the map sets by the name of Aotonatsu and Temptation got ranked. The top diffs on both are loved versions of the song, which have existed for years at this point. So seeing both maps added to the new map sets and ranked while their loved versions were still loved was really unusual, since, as far as I know, the map has to first be unloved to then get ranked. So what's up with that? Well, the loosening of the ranking criteria led to hundreds of mappers requesting their map to be unloved to try and get it ranked, which of course led to huge delays, with some people waiting for more than 6 months for a map to get loved and nothing really happening. It also caused a lot of frustration from the side of the loved team, who felt like the work they put in to get all those maps loved is simply getting undone, making not only their work seem meaningless, but also the time thousands of people put into playing those maps and setting leaderboard scores. So for the two maps in particular, they made an exception and decided to keep both the loved and the ranked versions live. This, however, was an exception, so in the future other mappers will have to wait for their maps to get unloved first before getting ranked as part of a different map set. Personally, I think it's kind of sad to have so much OSU history erased simply because people want a PP number assigned to a map, but since OSU staff believe in democracy, if people really want their loved maps ranked, there is really no way of stopping them. Another topic I wanted to quickly mention was also the AI drama. I don't really want to go too deep into it since Stu already made a video on it, so instead of repeating his words, I'm just gonna leave a link to his video in the description. But to keep it short, a mapper tried to get an AI map ranked and got banned for it. Call me crazy, but in my opinion, that was kind of deserved. There really shouldn't be a place for AI maps in the ranked section, so I'm just gonna hope OS staff will continue doing their job well and continue banning people who do dumb shit like this. Cause I swear to God, if in the next few years half the ranked section will be AI, I am going to commit violence. But yeah, that's about all I have for you today. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!